There was to be a biopic in the future, like who do you think would make for a great biopic?
It still goes back to where it's the origins, man. I really think a biopic about Hoist and what he brought to it, and there's no denying, man. He's like one of my favorite people in general. And then as far as what he did, he opened everybody's eyes. He opened everybody's eyes that what they thought they knew about toughness, what they thought they knew about mixed martial arts, what they thought they knew about size and all this stuff. He opened my eyes going, whoa, like what the hell is he doing? So I think a biopic about him would be awesome.
And just curious, 'cause I know you fought in the UFC like a little after him, and then fought in Pride. Did you get to meet him or like interact with him during that time?
So back then, like any time that he was on at a competition, it was totally the Gracie way. They just stuck with a small little group that didn't really talk or socialize it with other people, this, that, and the other. But I had a chance to talk to him, probably 5, 6 years ago, and I left the conversation literally like just absolutely amazed at what type of human being he is. Just he's this incredibly giving, thoughtful, intuitive human being. And we had this just beautiful conversation. And it just blew me away because I never had that opportunity at a competition. He was so locked in and focused. It wasn't social. It was like, I'm doing something here. So, it was incredible.
Kerr had an inspirational story that's now a biopic. You yourself, you have an inspirational journey of how you got into MMA. If there was going to be a biopic from a pioneer of the sport or maybe other pioneers of the sport, what would you think would make a great biopic in the future?
Oh man, there's so many crazy stories, that you hear. I like the story Anderson Silva flipping burgers, and somebody told him maybe he should try fighting, and boom, there he is under Alice Pereira.
Yeah.
No, to tire chasing tires, and somebody convinced him that maybe it would be better for him to focus on that, and then for them to take that step because it's stability. And once you take taken away from stability and going into something that you don't even know, you might know you're good, but you never know if you're really going to perform like that. And performing in the classroom and performing under pressure, those are two completely different things. It took me a whole bunch of fights to get finally calm. I think my very first fight in Japan was like, okay, what is going on? I was so relaxed, but the audience completely quiet. I had that 30-minute fight. I didn't want to expose myself right away because what if I can knock him out in the first minute, 29 more minutes to go? So all these things, they start playing in your head. And, stories. Israel Adesanya, I would love to see where he came from. I think hopefully this opens up like a series or something, maybe, that people are going to go like, okay, they're doing things about Kimbo Slice. I'm getting interviewed for that right now as well, because I also was his first coach, that when he started fighting. But people start getting maybe interested now and like, wait a minute, this is actually pretty cool. So hopefully some smart person comes with a Netflix idea or so, because you can keep coming and coming and coming. And the stories are so, and you find it in every profession. You always start a certain profession most of the time because of a certain reason, something happened to you in the past. With me, it was bullying, my skin disease, my severe asthma attacks, like being the leper in school. That's what they called me, and that set me up my path. And other people, it's different, but there's all these crazy worlds. And then if you guys like BJ Penn, and BJ Penn grows up in a house where they have money and everything is nice and dandy, and he becomes a black belt in 3 or 4 years, and people start laughing that it's not possible. He goes to Brazil and he wins the world championship, And you see, what motivation did he have? Well, his motivation was just, I just want to be the best in the world. You see, it doesn't need to be always something evil or something crazy that happened to a person, just the love of it. That's what changed my career once I realized what the groundwork really was. Because once I focused on that, I got the bug. I go, my God, the possibilities. And we always thought that was weakness. I go, you'll be able to break any bone in a person's body and dislocate pretty much any joint. That's a big freaking power to have, right? And once I started learning the combinations, and it's endless, you never master it. And whoop, I jumped into it. And then I became obsessed with it. Lost my last fight by submission, never lost again afterwards. Won my next 8 fights after the last fight by submission. 7 with submission finishes, and 1 with submission control. I mean, completely changed my life just because I took the step to go outside my comfort zone and I say, okay, I got to learn this. And I found one guy. My first year in Pancras, I was training on the back, 12 rounds a day, every day, 2 times a day. That was my workout to fight in Japan. And then once you start losing by submission, I don't really like losing, then you start focusing. You see, so to see that, and everybody has a story like that, somebody should make a show out of it, a series. I think people will be interested.